Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here at the home of a rare plant collector. He wants it all. He wants to have it all. He'll travel to get it. He'll make it happen. And he wants to have everything here at home. Interesting guy. He has a lot of plants. There's a lot to see here. So without any further ado, let's get started. You're gonna get to know him. He's gonna show us around. We're gonna see all those amazing plants he has out here. This is Southern California. This is Zone 10. We're here in June. It's about to be summer, and things are really popping off. A lot of things are growing, and we're gonna see a lot of fruit on the trees. I'm excited to show you, and I'm here with Kelly. Kelly, how you doing?
Good. How you doing? Thanks for coming over.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to see everything, and let's get started. But before we get started, Kelly, what got you into growing rare plants? What was it that got you started?
I would probably say two things specifically. First, somebody gifted me an orchid when I was still living in New York City, and just growing a plant in the inside, especially orchids, flowers, that got me started on that path. Then I moved down here to California, and I got my first, I think it was a strawberry guava. What some people in, the rare plant world are like, oh, that's common, blah, blah, blah. But for somebody moving from New York City, never tasted anything like that, and being a vegetarian, I was like, holy moly, this is really, really good. So I said, well, here's something I like. What else is there? And then that just led down the road of shenanigans.
So it was one plant that did it for you. Okay.
Yep. Cool. One plant in the orchid world led to all the other rare plants that, side of it. And then it was strawberry guava that led to the rare fruit. Yeah, and now I mainly do rare fruit. That's my true love is rare fruit.
And you have a place in Hawaii too, so you have a lot of experience with a lot of strawberry guavas, right?
Right? Yeah, they're considered invasive there.
Yeah, that's right.
But we do it. I mean, we're chock full here, so we have a lot, but we don't have room for, of course, everything. I'm a plant hoarder, so the more I can get, the better.
Okay.
There we got the land. We were very lucky in 2019. It just kind of fell into our lap. We're like, it's a steal. And then, of course, life went way downhill after that. So everyone's like, oh my God, is it already fully planted? Out of 20 acres, you have a quarter of an acre that's planted.
Okay.
Because we're only able to go about every 4 months for 1 week at a time. And half of that time is simply going and fighting the grasses and invasive weeds and strawberry guavas that have grown into the area that you cleared last time. Yeah. So let's say we're there eight days. 5 days is simply, oh my God, clearing it. And then you have 3 days to collect, plant, and see what else you can do. So Hawaii is a whole different story. We'll talk a little bit about we go. But this is a good learning experience because, for one, I'm also growing stuff that I know what it tastes like.
Right.
So I know if I really want to put a lot of energy into it.
Okay.
It's like jaboticaba. That you'll see a bunch in the yard.
Yeah.
You'll see a lot of them in the same species, and they all kind of taste similar.
Yeah.
But then there's jaboticaba, like Plenia edulis, whole different world, whole different ball game. Doesn't taste anything like the jaboticaba that we're used to here. So that's my next step. Like in that evolution, it's like, okay, I know that fruit's good in general, but now what are all the different species that I can grow, especially in Hawaii, stuff like that.
Cool, very cool. And speaking of jaboticaba, I want to show everyone the one that's right behind you. Ooh. The one right here. This is beautiful, guys. Check this out. This is amazing. Look at the production on these.
So this one is this one is Plenia Red X.
Yeah, that is beautiful.
It's a hybrid tree. So what I like about species like this is that they're early producers.
Yeah.
When you're doing like the Sabara varieties, they can take 10, 15 years to fruit. This one, about 7 years old, but it was producing fruit by year 2.
By year 2 from seed, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, by the second year it was producing fruit.
Yep.
That's amazing.
And I have a couple of videos on my YouTube channel where I did the pruning. For people that aren't that familiar with jaboticaba yet, you prune everything from the bottom so that there's a lot of sun exposure to the bark, and because it fruits directly in the bark, boom, that's where the magic is.
That's right, guys. Kelly has a YouTube channel. He has an Instagram page. You have TikTok as well. The link to all of his social media will be at the description of this video. I'll put it right here at the bottom of the video. Follow Kelly. He has great videos on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok. So give him a follow and give him a like. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's go. Oh,
Thanks,
right here.
guys.
Eugenia Rapanda, right?
Eugenia Rapanda Black.
Okay.
So there are two versions of that. There's a red and a black one. They taste similar. But the cool thing about this one is you get to see the color change. So when the tree explodes in bloom, and you can see the blooms are just about to form. So give it about 2.5 months. I mean, it's very small, but I can see that those are going to be blooms right there. Thousands upon thousands of blooms. So you get the bud forming, then they're open for about a week. So many bees and flies. Of all the eugenia and everything else flowering in my yard, this one attracts flies like nobody's business. But then you get a green fruit that turns into a red fruit that turns into a really jet black fruit.
Wow. And what's your thoughts on the fruit? Is it good?
It's good. It's one of those where it's a novelty fruit only because when you eat it, there's a big seed.
Oh, okay.
So it's about half seed, half, flesh. And when it's only about the size of your thumbnail, it's pretty small, but you eat a lot of them. It's an enjoyable experience.
Okay.
So I say that it's worth growing, and you only need one. I have 4 just kind of for aesthetics.
Oh, okay.
But if you just grew one, you'd have more fruit than you know what to do with.
You can get away with one. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
We have a loquat tree here. Is this a certain variety?
This was a Big Jim.
Big Jim, okay.
That ended up not being Big Jim. And then I have put at least 7, maybe 9 different varieties from Peluche, Argelino, Cando, Oliver.
Okay, so it's a multi-grafted tree.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and actually we just got done with the fruit probably about a week ago. Like here's one of my Peluche grafts right there.
Oh, yeah.
I try and label everything that's on my tree. Usually it's the date I acquired it, the date that it got grafted or planted, some sort of note so in the future.
Graft is done there.
Yep.
Nice. How's it? Oh, we got a lot of grafts here.
Yeah.
Here's another one.
This was a special one I grew from seed. It was a loquat that I already forgot how I got it. But it produces contorted branches. So like this one goes just a little bit. Once you go up, they twist and spiral and they go all over the place.
Oh, interesting.
It hasn't fruited, so I don't know what it tastes like, but it was interesting enough to keep just because of how misshapen they all were.
Okay. Cool. Interesting. How's loquat grafting? I've never tried it. Is it easy to take for you, or? I'm
surprised that you haven't done it yet. It is, for a beginner like I was, it was easier. So kind of like when they say if you're just beginning, go with peaches, plums, things that are easy. It gives you like, yay, I did it. So you want to go more difficult things. I would say loquat, I had about an 80% success rate, which made me want to keep going, and that's why I grafted so many different things onto it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool. Interesting.
And again, when you look at everything in the yard, nothing will be bigger than this tree.
Okay. And how tall is this tree?
Oh God, I would say probably about, what, 13 feet tall?
Yeah. And about, and it was just maybe 10 feet wide.
Maybe 10 feet wide. This will be the largest.
Yeah, that's the biggest tree. Okay.
When we go to Annona, Eugenia, all the poteria that you're going to see, one important thing I guess I haven't said yet, is that I choose my trees because of their size.
Yeah.
So like Annona, Cherimoya, that can be a really big tree, right? I'm choosing all these different species like Neosalisfolia and Parviflora. You can keep them small. 10 feet tall, maybe 4 feet wide, and that's going to be how the tree is grown. When you get into the back, talk about high density. It's laughable, but what you're going to see is in some areas, trees are planted 1 foot apart.
Yeah.
That is A, for testing, just to see what lives here. B, survival of the fittest, to see what's going to happen. And then it's like a forest. Sometimes they live that way, and one provides shade for another, canopy sort of stuff. That's what's going on back there, and we'll talk about it when we get to it.
Well,
but
I'm excited to see that.
That's why a lot of the trees won't be ginormous.
Yeah. Great.
So in the front yard, when we were first starting this, because we've lived here for about 12 years, we didn't have a good game plan, because about 2012 is when I got into the rare fruit thing. So the front yard has sort of been nothing but a tree of 1 persimmon tree. Then it kind of became a low water area. But in the last few years, I've evolved it to be a couple of different things. So that's why in this area nothing's too grown yet, but there's a lot of variety.
Yeah.
Give it 5 years, it'll be producing fruit like mad, but there are some things that are producing.
Yeah.
So these two guys are Eugenia.
Yeah.
This is a Eugenia cherry of the Rio Grande.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Look at the trunk, guys. Look at the multicolored trunk. It looks like military camouflage.
It does. I love that you can appreciate that.
Yeah, this is beautiful. And look down here. Look at the trunk down here. It's nice, multicolored, really beautiful, ornamental, and delicious fruit.
So true.
Yeah.
Well, this one next to it was Eugenia SP, so it is also in the like involucrata or range. So it's kind of the, you know, brother or sister species. When I show them the fruit, they're like, ah, that's just cherry of the Rio Grande. No way.
No?
They don't taste the same at all.
Okay.
This one, I was hoping that I would have one.
Here. You have one fruit. It's unripe.
Here, I'm going to get your, well, that's a tiny, tiny one. I want to check your opinion on this.
Oh, okay.
Because, have you had cherry of the Rio Grande before?
I had, yeah.
All right, just tell me what you think of this. I may be saying it's worse. I may be saying it's better.
I can't say no to these. Guys, we're just doing a taste test already. Here we go. This is a Eugenia SP, right? That means a species that's kind of unknown or not named yet. All right, here we go.
Possibly could be seedless.
Oh, it's interesting.
What do you get out of it?
Doesn't taste like the cherry of the Rio Grandes that I've had. It has a little bit slightly different flavor. This is gonna sound. I taste barbecue sauce, a little bit of gasoline, but not unpleasant, like some Eugenias have. Sweet, has some sweetness. Yeah, good.
So I gave you one that wasn't truly ripe.
Okay.
Because when they get ripe, it's funny you say barbecue sauce. A lot of my Eugenias have this like kind of smoky flavor.
Yeah.
To me, it's smoky honey. It is so good when it turns into that shrivelly black fruit that there's no sort of like gasoline astringency. It's just pure like sugar.
Okay.
We were about probably a week away from it, but I wanted you to at least try one where you're like, all right, it is different tasting than this.
Oh, no, it's good. The seed, guys, went right into my pocket.
That, you know, grow it out.
Yeah.
Plus, this tree is about 10 years old. So this is how big it gets in 10 years. Not very big at all.
Yeah, not big at all. It's like maybe 7 feet. 7 feet and about 3 feet wide.
Yeah.
Very cool. Interesting.
And it tolerates the shade. I mean, it's not a huge fan of it, but tolerates it enough. Gives me about 50 fruit a year. So I'm like, that's enough. You know, Eugenia want the more, you know, more sun, more fruit thing, but I'm okay with 50 fruit off that guy.
Yeah. Gotcha.
These are all different types of guavas. I mean, talk about high density planting. So we go from acutangulatum to a Cos guava to a bunch of SPs.
Okay.
So I'm letting them all cross-pollinate, planting the seeds, and looking for interesting foliage. Because this one has beautiful foliage right there. I love these little leaves that are so soft and kind of you know, velvety. And then this SP and that SP over there produce very different fruit. This I haven't gotten a fruit off of yet because the flowers, they appeared 2 years ago, but I haven't been able to get it to fruit. I guess it just wasn't the right conditions, humidity or something. Okay. Hopefully this year. But this is supposed to be sour, sweet, sour, sweet. So I made sure I put a variety of guavas right next to each other. So also when they cross-pollinate, I get some interesting seedlings.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Good idea. This is, the completely different texture. This is glossy. This is more velvety. That's interesting.
Yep. Yeah. And even when I got this, I had to go, so I make a bunch of anal retentive labels. So first this was angulatum. So then when I posted something on YouTube, someone corrected me and said it's acutangulum. Okay. So it's one of them. I'm assuming the experts who gave me this said that that's right.
Ah, okay. Yeah, there's a lot of folks on YouTube who will very eagerly correct you on anything.
And they were from Brazil, so man, they grow it there. I know that they know what they're talking about, so let's go with that.
Yeah, okay, cool. Oh,
So this Che, the reason I find this interesting, have you had Che before?
No.
So Che is in the mulberry family. Produces a big quarter-size red fruit that kind of looks like a brain.
Yeah.
This is a seedless one, and it's dioecious, so you need the male and female.
All right.
So I believe what you're looking at there is probably the male flowers.
All right.
So it's very hard to see the female flowers sometimes because they like to hide, but I have two trees side by side.
Mm-hmm.
So the male is usually open first and then the female. But that's not what's interesting. What's interesting is I found a cousin to it that's orange. So this one turns blood red. It's like really dull wine color red when it's fully mature. But this one is kind of like a neon yellow to orange. And I said, well, they're in the same, you know, Maclura. So let's graft one onto the regular Che.
Oh, okay.
And it lived. And I actually have the other one is it has blooms on it. So let's go over here and I'll show you.
Cool. Look at the graft, guys. The graft is done there, right there.
And you'll see that this one, because I think on this one I also have a male and female. So I'm assuming that's male.
Okay.
And then this is female.
Oh, interesting.
What makes it super cool is
little tiny fruits.
I did a video previously in the winter. All the red Che dropped the leaves, deciduous, went completely naked, except for the orange Che stayed fully leafed all winter long. So you have this bare tree with two big branches that are like, no, I'm still on here. So I'm really hoping I get some cross-pollination with these two.
Oh, nice. Okay. And what's your thoughts on the fruit? Do you like it? Does it taste good?
I love Che.
Yeah. Okay.
I had another Che I took out right here called Norris. It was a seedless one. It's hard for me to get rid of it. It keeps coming back.
Yeah.
So when it comes to Che, it's really important which one you grow, whether it's seedless or not, you know, blah, blah, blah. So that one, I just didn't like the taste of it. I was like, sure, it's one that's on the market. Everyone says, la, la, la. But when you ate it, it was a little insipid, didn't have a lot of flavor. Yeah. But when you tasted this one, you're like, wow, that's like a watermelon slice.
And you said it's a seedling, right?
This one I actually got from, this is a seedling, the orange one.
Yeah.
This one I got probably in 2014 from a California rare fruit growers member.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Interesting. Nice. Wow. Yeah, it has a lot of, oh, you did another graft onto it.
Yeah. Like, I did tons of different grafts, but not all of them took.
Yeah. Cool.
And then I think I have the trees labeled. So this one is the female. So if I were to separate it, that's how I would find the flowers. So I know this is female. And then everything else that was on this one that I'm shaking is male.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. Wow.
So, but it's a good fruit. I suggest, like, I didn't think I was going to like it because the first year it produced fruit, it was a little tame. I think it's watery. Got better year after year after year. Now it's one of my more favorite fruits.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. We'll ask Kelly what his favorite fruits are later because he's gotten to try quite a large amount of fruits.
Oh, you'll get some.
This is white sapote?
It sure is.
Yeah.
And this is the
container.
Oh my God, what it was the one gold nugget, which most people say, but wait, that's a loquat. Gold nugget is one Exotica sells.
Okay.
And then on it, my neighbor up down the street, she said, oh my God, I have these white sapote. Do you want to come and get them? So I took a cutting of her tree because it was excellent as well. And so I grafted that onto the gold nugget.
Okay. Cool.
But, you know, it doesn't like to be in the container. I just don't know where I'm going to plant it.
Yeah,
if I put it in the ground, it'd go nuts.
Yeah, they can get really aggressive growers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, I just don't know what to do with you.
You're going to be pruning quite a bit if you put it in the ground.
It's a to be determined.
Yeah.
Oh, and I see I did the graft, I think, right there.
Yeah. Cool. And what is this?
This is, it used to be called Hexaclamus edulus.
Oh,
Ubage.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Tastes like garlic, the garlic fruit.
Oh man, I've had this fruit before. It's very interesting and unique fruit.
Have you had it when it was unripe?
No.
Change my opinion. I hated it.
Yeah.
And then I had it before it had that garlic smell. And I really thought it was a good guava. I was like, what am I eating? It tastes like a really sweet, nice guava.
Oh, okay.
So I say, if you grow this fruit, eat it before it turns garlicky. That's my favorite. But my issue was I've had this tree forever, at least 10 years.
Okay.
Blooms thousands of blooms, never any fruit. So this year, a friend of mine and I traded scions to cross-pollinate because, you know, we're assuming that's the issue. And some of the scions are finally pushing. So next year will be the year because his is flowering, mine is flowering. So hopefully next year we'll get some.
Just to confirm with you, this is a yellow fruit, right? When it's ripe, it's like yellow. It kind of looks like a guava, but I've heard different things. I hear it's a Eugenia family.
It's been reclassified to Eugenia. Now it's Eugenia myrcianthus.
Okay, all right, then. Okay, we're talking about the same thing. Yeah, this is an interesting fruit.
It is. I mean, I think it's one of those love-hate relationships.
Yeah,
I hated it at first.
Yeah.
And then it was all about the stage. I was like, all right, wait. This is the same fruit. Changed my mind.
Definitely love-hate relationship. I planted this on my parkway just so if anyone wants to come and grab fruit, they'll have.
Oh wait, so yours does fruit?
I have a young one, but I've had one at my friend's house, and she has a more mature tree like this, and it makes fruit.
Just on its own?
Yeah, I believe so. I think she only has one.
Wow, she got the lucky one.
We might be able to get you a scion of that then.
Because that's cool. Yeah. A couple of people have those that are self-fruiting.
Yeah.
It's just me and my friend have both experienced the same thing where it's like, we don't get any fruit. It's on year 4 or 5 of flowering now. So we figured something had to be done.
Okay. Interesting.
Then I got some rare oddity. I love that passion flower, vitifolia. I've never seen a red passion flower that's as pretty as this.
Yeah. Wow.
So I've also been, so the blue tape signifies that I hand pollinated it. Wow. And I grow 3 types.
Red passion fruit flower.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Wow. I've never seen this.
I do believe it's vitifolia. If not, it's something with the V. It's very close.
That's interesting.
So the blue, I've been taking 2 of my other passion flower that are in bloom at the same time and have been doing a pollination in the morning. And it looks like there are a few that are taking. Last year, I didn't get any fruit. It's supposed to have a tasty fruit. I'm like, all right.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
But so this year will be the year. If I can find out what pollinates it, then I'll just have to hand pollinate it, unfortunately, or grow them next to each other.
Okay. And this is what do you know the name? Is it Passiflora?
I think it's vitifolia.
Passiflora vitifolia. Interesting.
Wow. If not, I'll get you the correct spelling, but it's close to vitifolia.
Wow, that's interesting. Wow. And I see this is a Eugenia too.
That is, there's a place or someone that sells seeds from Brazil called Rares Frutas. They're not as online as they used to be, but I think their stuff is kick-ass. This is a Pitanga tuba, which is also one of my most unfavorite fruits of all time. I do not like it. It's from Rares Frutas, right? Yeah. And I have waited, when did I plant this? 2017. Still no fruit. So let's keep our fingers crossed and hope that this year is fruit.
We have flowers here.
Yep.
Yes.
It took a long time to flower. First flowering was last year.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of these either. I have found that when I went to Florida, I would eat a miracle fruit first and then eat these, and then it tastes
good.
Yeah, then it's good.
Well, there is a sweet version of this. So people swear to me, and I don't take, I was like with a grain of salt. But people I really trust say, no, there's a version out there that you want to eat it off, just off the tree. I'm hoping this may be because it comes from them. Okay. Hopefully the sweet one.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you got Indian jujube. So these are it's a thornless one. It has a big green fruit.
Okay.
And it produces something that tastes like an apple.
Yeah. Jujube. What grape is this?
God, all these different types. Like this one is going to be Mars.
Okay.
And then next to it, you have Suffolk. You have...
Oh, you have the Suffolk Red?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. This is a good one.
You have Jupiter. You have Orange Muscat.
Okay.
And then you have Joy.
Wow. Guys, check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4 varieties planted. Let's see, 1 foot, 2 feet apart from each other. We're going to be seeing a lot of this.
Actually, I think there's 5 of them there.
Density.
So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 different varieties.
Wow. And they're all producing, look like. This one has like longer grapes. This one has a little bit more rounder. My Suffolk red grapevine is going out of control. I don't know how you're keeping it in this pruned, but
About once a week.
oh, right. Yeah. Yeah.
About once a week.
Yeah.
And only one of these is seeded. The orange muscat, which apparently was harder to come by.
Yeah.
I got it from a friend in the CRFG. That's the only one with seeds. So I don't love it as much because of the seeds, but it's a really interesting taste.
Okay.
Unique.
Orange. Is the fruit orange? Like orange grape. I've never seen some. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, very interesting. We'll come in about August. And then you'll see them, yeah.
Sure. Yes, yes. And look at this, guys, look at this mini orchard that Kelly has started here. Look at the spacing again. You're gonna see a trend here. 2 feet apart, these anonas are 2 feet apart. And I always encourage folks to do this, especially when they're in the same family. They like to be close to each other. So let's see, what varieties do you have here?
So this one is going to be the SC Charlotta. The Painter's Charlotta produces a big red, delicious fruit.
Yeah, nice.
And then you have a completely different family. So these don't really, yeah, they're all Anona, but like they're going to be a lot. This is more closer to Rollinia. So this is Neo salicifolia.
Wow.
So that produces, you know, the flowers up here are 2 kinds. They're basically a cherimoya, which is usually a 3-petal flower, or the Rollinia looking one is what I call.
Wow.
And then you have Adamoya. Yeah. Another, so where that is Charlotta, it's a SC Charlotta. Apparently when they came up with Charlotta, there were a couple people doing it. Painter's is the one that's like what everybody actually eats, the one that people would know of when they say it. That one, no one's, I haven't seen a taste report on yet. So they are different Charlottas. But they're, you know, to me, Charlotta just means red fruit at this point.
Gotcha. This is a
canistel.
Canistel, yeah. Okay. They call it the egg fruit.
I bought, so 90% of what I grow is from seed.
Yeah.
The other 10% is usually grafted plants.
Yeah.
You know, this one I got at, I won't name the nursery, but they sold it to me as Ross. It is not Ross sapote. No, okay. We've had 1 fruit off it so far, 100% canistel.
Okay.
But at least it's surviving in the ground. It's very kind of a wonky one when it was in a container. My God, talk about green and leafy. Something about putting it in the ground 2 years ago really shocked it. Okay. And it's just now coming back.
Okay.
Yeah, but I see the blooms forming, so it'll be good.
I think you're the first person I know in Southern California that made canistel actually make fruit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And how was the fruit?
It was delicious.
Yeah.
Was
it drier side or moister?
Right in the middle.
Oh, okay.
Not too dry, not too moist. Okay. So that's another reason it deserved a place in the ground.
Okay, good.
I was like, this fruit I could eat, make shakes out of, you know, whatever.
Because the ones you commonly get are very dry. And that's why some people don't like it. The ones I've had are just on the drier side. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Okay.
Very, very, very possible.
Yeah. And this?
This is green sapote.
Okay.
So when it comes to sapote or the poteria family, you have to make sure you stick to the ones where the fruit can ripen in the time period we need before hard winter hits. Green sapote can do that. And I mean, how beautiful is this tree? I mean, there's hundreds of blooms.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And then you actually have some, these opened since yesterday. So all those are brand new open.
Wow.
AJ, I can't figure out how to get it to fruit either. I mean, this is the 3rd or 4th year. So I know on some of the other ones, you're supposed to pinch them, like when they're open. That way the pollen kind of gets where it needs to go. So that's what I was planning on doing with some of these, because I really want just one fruit.
Yep.
I want to be like, okay, this is actually fruited.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I love this aesthetically.
Yeah.
I've had this one since 2017, and that's how tall the tree is.
Okay. Yeah. 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 These are known to be more slow growing. Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah. 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 Cool, man.
Couple more out of,
Cinnamon.
yep,
This is a hibiscus.
hibiscus. This one is interesting to point out. Like, it's probably hard to see, you know, because I'm also letting it bramble. So when you have anything you're pointing out that's a brambling bush, people are like, what am I looking at?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. Yeah, but
This is from Australia.
yeah.
The blooms are cool. It produces a polka dotted fruit that tastes like marshmallows a little bit.
Wow, really? What is it called?
So Ostrameritis dulcis. It's a midgeonberry is what they call it in Australia.
Midgeonberry.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very interesting tasting fruit.
Yeah.
Behind it, I just did a big pruning. These are two types of goji berries.
Okay.
So this is an orange goji berry, and I don't care what everyone says, like, oh, they're so gross until they're dried. I found one that was super sweet. Love it. You don't need to dry it to enjoy it. When you just eat it straight off the plant, it's good.
Okay.
As opposed to its cousin, this guy, which is black, jet black fruit, has zero taste. But aesthetically, I think it's a cool looking plant, especially when it's covered in blackberries.
Nice. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, but this one I also want you to have the fruit.
Yeah, I would like that. Sounds very interesting to try. Is this Cape gooseberry?
Yeah, it's one of the pohas.
Oh yeah. This does this try to take over your garden?
It's naturalized.
Yeah.
It grows everywhere.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to get rid of, but I always let one stay.
Yeah. Yeah. These are crazy growers. And what anona is that in the pot over there?
That well, actually, that's a lychee in the pot right next door. Because again, it's like
that's
I
in
got
the ground. Oh yeah. That's
So
right.
this one is Pink's Mammoth.
Okay.
Super cool, Adamoya. It is named after a guy, Pink's.
Yeah.
And it produces the fruit. I haven't had a fruit last year because I did a big prune, but the year before I did a video where it was about yay big and very, very, very tasty, very vanilla ice cream like.
Was that big as this?
It on a tree like this size, yeah, it was at least that big.
Wow.
And it was, yeah, it was gritty on the inside right near the seeds, but on the outside it was silky smooth.
Wow.
Super, super tasty.
Okay. Interesting.
If I had to pick of the Adamoyas that I've tasted so far, or the Anonas in general, Pink's Mammoth and Anona reticulata, if you can grow any variety of Anona reticulata, oh my God, so good, so
Is that the
good.
custard apple?
It's, yeah.
Custard apple. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I really, really, really think they were amazing fruit.
All right. That's good to know. Interesting. Got an avocado here. It's a dwarf.
And you knew about this one.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like worts, where if you go to Home Depot and you go and you see a tag that says dwarf hybrid, that's usually the worts avocado, also known as the little cado. I used to have one of these. It was 3 feet tall and about 4 feet wide. I've done a video about this one. The fruit is okay, but if you have a small space, look at this tree. How old was this tree, you said?
When we accidentally cut it down, because accidents happen in the yard, right? We were trying to trim the banana, and it had an accident, so it got cut to the ground. At that point, it was about 3 years in the ground.
Okay.
And now it's about a year and a half from the time it was accidentally cut down. So this is less than a year and a half's worth of growth.
Okay.
But you got a full root system down there that you were working with.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And it's blocking sun to this other Jaboticaba.
Yep. So this is Escalarte.
Yeah.
Which I thought, that's not going to be very good for the Escalarte. And lo and behold, yeah.
Wow. More fruit on the...
More fruit on the way.
Oh, look, more up there.
Yeah, I mean, all those buds are forming.
Wow. And down here too?
Yep.
Amazing.
So eventually one will give. Either I'm going to let the avocado win and move the Escalarte, or vice versa, but we'll just, to be determined.
Very nice. Nice leaves too. Okay. What kind of banana is this?
This is Dwarf Namwa.
Oh, Dwarf Namwa. Wow. This is a nice rack.
Tasty, tasty banana.
Yeah.
Like, not my favorite, because there are bigger bananas with just as good of a taste, if not better. But all the bananas were getting so big in the backyard that they would tend to fall over and destroy their plants. So this is the only one we grow now because we can keep it this size or shorter.
Yeah. Wow. Very cool.
And so we'll always keep one other one. So I know it has 1,000 pups, but one gets to live. Well, as soon as we take off the bananas, then we're going to cut the whole thing down. That one gets the fruit, and another pup gets to grow. So always will be 2 in the mix.
Cool. Very cool. And what citrus is this?
That is, God, I gotta look, because gold nugget.
Gold nugget. Oh yeah.
Frickin' love the taste of gold nugget. Have you had one before?
I think so.
I want to get.
I think I've had this before. Yes. Gold nugget mandarin. Mandarin.
You can eat this at your leisure.
Sure.
And then talk about.
Guys, gold nugget mandarin. Look at that.
So far, it's my favorite citrus I've grown or eaten.
Your favorite citrus. Okay, good to know.
Really sweet.
Wow. Yeah. And behind you is the.
That one is one of the fajoyas that I grew from seed from a big fruit I got at a farmer's market in kind of Santa Barbara area.
Okay.
And it does produce ginormous fruit.
Really?
Some years they're tasty and other years they're just all about show.
Ah, okay.
Because of how big they are. Probably, you know, I'd say some are twice the size of a golf ball.
Wow. That's
But
big.
this year, I'm not getting a lot of blooms. Last year, if you would have seen the tree, man, it was covered.
Wow.
But this year, something about the season is different.
Wow. This is the pineapple guava, they call it. Nice tree. This one is in the ground, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And oftentimes you do need cross-pollination for better fruit production.
Mm-hmm.
This one has produced tons of fruit with
Okay.
it being the only tree, but there could be neighbors that have it where the bees are bringing over the pollen and stuff.
Yeah. Cool. You got figs?
And then I have a comment, different pineapple. I just picked a pineapple the other day. Couple of figs.
In containers.
Because of the aggressive root systems, you know, my whole thing with trees, figs will stay in containers. But I'll show you a little grafting experiment I have.
Sure. Yeah.
That's going to be, because I'll gloss over some of these because, you know, different types of figs, other plants, you know. The figs that you see will probably go away because I'm going to have one fig with all of my varieties grafted on it.
Oh, okay.
And I have one successful version so far that has everything except for like 2 of these growing.
Oh,
man, that's yellow long neck. I love yellow long neck.
Okay, you like that one. This is a favorite from the CRFG.
It was the size of it, and then it does have a very light honey taste.
Okay.
You know, they don't have to be a very powerful thing for me to say I love it.
Yeah.
It's a combination of size, how many it produces, the flavor, all that kind of stuff.
Nice. This is the Flanders fig?
Yep.
You like it? Good fig?
It's not the best, but it's really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And
of all the things, I think this would be cool for people to see the K apple.
Oh, yeah.
This is what they use in Africa to do fencing so that they keep out lions and tigers and other things.
Look at the spike on this, guys.
It's dioecious, so you need male and female.
That will hurt you.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And it's filled with fruit. So all those
you're getting fruit.
If you grow them from seed, you run the risk of it being not very pleasant to eat.
Yeah.
I got a fruit from Exotica. They have a very tasty variety. So before I really knew what I was doing, I mean, back in 2015, I planted them, grew them out, got one female, one male, and I have been extremely lucky because the fruit the female produces is very tasty. You want more than one.
Wow.
So that's not always the case, but usually I come and snack on 4 or 5 of these at a time.
Oh, yeah?
And on a good season, like this is an off season, it's not producing many, well, you know, not many, let's say 75 are on here. On a good season, on a tree this size, it'll be 400 fruit.
Wow, that's amazing.
So it's really, what do they call it? Biennial bearing or biannual bearing. So every other year is going to be.
Oh, every other year. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you need a female, which is this one.
And then that's the male.
They need to be close to each other for the cross-pollination.
Yeah. And it has big thorns as well. I mean, we're not joking about these. So that's why they also stay in pots.
Yeah, look at the thorn on this. It's like,
and it tends to, you know, like it's always moving towards the sun. The bad thing about my yard is I don't get
spike is like
12 hours of sun anywhere in the yard. I always have like little here. So this one I always have to turn every year. I forgot to turn it last year. That's why it looks like it's literally leaning that way.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, beginning of the spring, I turned it and now I'm forcing it to.
So this way is west. So it's going to want to go that. Okay, so you got to turn it. Okay, I got you.
Yep. So it gets stronger east
Yeah.
sun now. So I'm hoping that it'll eventually, if not, it's going to get a major prune at the end of the fruiting, and then I'll just kind of take it out of the pot, shift it, root prune it.
Okay, cool. And what's this?
This was sold to me as Eugenia floribunda.
Oh, okay.
I'm hoping it is. There's some theories out there that Eugenia floribunda is just Java plum.
Oh, all right.
I don't think it is, because they're different enough where I see similarities, but it does look like a Syzygium to me and not a Eugenia.
Yeah, it looked like I thought it was rose apple for a second.
You'll see a rose apple back there, and the leaves, they have that same general shape.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
You did another graft on it.
I did. I sold one that was sold to me as a seed from Tradewind Fruits called Eugenia SP Blackberry.
Uh-huh.
And even they say on there, well, and it was huge. I mean, I don't want a tree that big. In a pot this big, it was twice the size of this tree. I'm like, I'm going to sell it. But I saved some branches. And they said it may be, when you have a selected cultivar, just like the Eugenia SP is like Cherry of the Rio Grande. So that one was similar enough. They said it should survive on this one. So the one I sold, I saved a little piece, and that's where you get grafted. Mm-hmm. So it'll be Eugenia floribunda, and then whatever Eugenia floribunda select, or whatever you want to call it, cultivar.
Cool. Interesting. Wow.
This is that yellow che that you saw. I'm going to be selling these plants. So these are the two plants that I grafted on the red che.
Okay. Okay.
This is just what they look like before they went on there.
The leaves are so different from this one and the che you had over there.
Yep.
It's pretty interesting. Yeah. Cool.
And neither one of these are fruiting. Well, actually, you get a little bit here. But because that che is mature, you saw how much that one branch of this was going off. It was like so many baby fruits. Yeah. So it does really make a difference when you graft something onto a more mature tree.
Yeah.
And these are things like tropical apricot that have yet to fruit, and some other things back, yellow Jamaican cherry back there.
Oh, really?
You can see the winter is really, we're in a bowl. So where I live, it gets down to about 34 degrees every single night.
Really?
Relentlessly for about 4 months.
Oh, okay.
So people think, oh my God, you're so lucky you can grow everything. Not really. I mean, I really have struggled with finding plants that can survive the 112-degree summers and during the day, and the 34-degree nights. And that's a perfect example of, it does live. As you can see, like that one must have been in a microclimate. The heat was coming up, but the rest of them that got super exposed just got killed. But it'll grow back. It'll live. It just, struggles.
Yeah. So
but if you put it in the ground, wow.
Oh, yeah, it'll take off.
It'll take off.
These are good fruit. I like them.
Of all things, I thought I was going to like the yellow more than the red.
Yeah?
I like the red.
You like the red?
I have to say, yeah.
There's a trunk in a container. Rolling. This is the Jamaican cherry. It has a few names. Strawberry tree, Jamaican cherry. Quite a few different names. Montingia, I believe.
Yep, Calibura.
Yeah. Look at the flowers. That's beautiful. Nice flowers. Good fruit, heavy producer, fast grower, extremely fast grower. If you want to feel like a good gardener, plant one of these and water it, and then you'll be impressed with how fast it grows. But
100% correct. Could not be more. Yep. It's like a rare fruit you just can't get in the store, because when the fruit's ready, you got to eat it that day. Even one day more, and it's going to be too soft and mushy. So that's another good reason to grow stuff you haven't heard of, because like the stuff in the grocery stores, it's meant to have a shelf life. But some of the best fruit, I mean, you have to eat it the day or maybe the next day. But beyond that, it's like, no, it's going to be rotted on the ground. That also was extremely important to what I chose, because I didn't want anything that had a shelf life. I like going to the tree, getting it off, and being...
Very cool.
The dwarf mulberry, it doesn't usually get more than this. This is dwarf Isaiah. You have a white pomegranate. But here, I've already been talking your head off.
Mulberry, pomegranate. And this is white sapote.
Another white sapote. This is a seedling I grew of, and just one I thought was so tasty. So tasty. I went to a farm. Guy didn't know what it was. He planted it from seed, so I was just like, all right.
And you got one fruit, and you like the fruit so much, huh?
And this has fruited in a container. This has given me 4 fruit last year.
From seed?
Yep.
Okay, how old is this tree?
Let's see. Let me see if I kept my little, because I sometimes have to have all my, I would have to guess this one because I don't know where my label is. I would guess this is 5 years old.
Okay. Wow.
And it fruited at year 4.
Where did you get the fruit from?
It was going towards Santa Barbara. It was somebody that had just like a private showing of their farm. I got lucky enough to go and see like an acre. Yeah. He grew a bunch of different stuff. There were a lot of white sapote that he grew from seed. So it was just one of his seedling grown ones.
Gotcha.
Yeah, cool. But his tree was ginormous.
Yeah.
Oh,
this is something, right?
Mame sapote.
Yeah, no. It's like,
and I can't believe this grows and survives here. I'm not going to keep it here because I think it's going to fruit. I'm going to keep it here because how cool and interesting it is. I love the leaves.
Yeah, look at the...
I was hoping you would see some of the blooms. It just got done finished blooming, but because it doesn't have a really good pollinator, they just fall off.
Nice.
But even if it did,
good growth, you
would never see the fruit because it takes about a year.
Yeah.
And it's gonna freeze in the winter.
Yeah.
This was the fig experiment I was telling you.
This is the grafting experiment you did?
Yep. So of all the bark grafts I did, they all died. But when you get up there and you go to the clefts, I think I have a 95% success rate of all the cleft grafts.
Fig grafting. So this is Kelly's multi-grafted fig tree. He took all the varieties that he has in his yard, put them on one tree except 2, right? And so so your plan is to graft them all on here and then do something, move the rest? Or?
I'm going to sell the rest, and then I'll upsize the container probably to more than a half wine barrel. And so the reason I chose this particular fig to do the grafting on is it's an old tree, and it has been a shorter variety. I can't remember. I have to look at the tag, but it was a name I didn't really recognize.
Okay.
I don't know, it sounded made up. But because it didn't really get taller than this, I was like, that's a good one to do all these other varieties that do get large, because maybe I can keep it, kind of well balanced and not too big.
Okay, cool. Very cool. Nice.
All right, so now we go on to the back.
Oh, okay, hold on. I think I'm gonna divide this video into front yard and backyard, because we're 48 minutes.
And